Okay. Hi, host Eric here talking to the people. All right, go ahead, Jay Cee.
I want to know why it is that NTs on like this channel or like other MBTI channels talk about their feelings more than feeling types. I just find it very interesting. I think it's funny.
I know the answer to that one.
Are we feeling like just a word? Like I feel like, or are we actually talking about emotions? Because
Yeah, you guys talk about emotions more than feeling types.
I think we're probably trying to figure it out.
That's exactly it. They were trying to figure it out.
But you guys talk about thinking more than feeling types too.
True.
We talk. She says that we talk about thinking more than feeling types too. Well, what do feeling types talk about?
They just talk more than other types, period. You guys just talk.
We just talk at people.
Talk your
No, I'm
talk.
just kidding.
Nandi,
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
you've got, imagine yourself in a room, you've got 6 people in there and none of them are saying anything, and they're all saying to you, Nandi, please, teach us to have conversations. We are newly cloned peoples and still learning the ways of conversation. What will we talk about first? What do you teach? What guide them in their conversation? Go.
There is no one thing that you talk about first, like.
But tell us, we don't know anything. What do we talk about? Teach us.
Well, I mean, like, it would have to be in context. Like, there
The
are different
context is
things.
I know nothing. Help me. What's the context? I don't know what to talk
Why?
about.
I don't know. I guess, like,
Do you think that
you
we
have
talk
to.
people a lot? People. Do you think that we talk about people a lot?
No.
I frequently find myself just bored when people are talking about other people. There's not a purpose to it. It's just information about what someone else did or ate.
Oh, yeah, I heard you guys talk about that before. You're just going around in circles and you're not really accomplishing
I
anything.
don't know if we talked about that if I just thought it.
Well, is that your way of asking what I had for dinner, Taylor?
What did you have for dinner, host Eric?
I had half a sandwich from the donut shop. The other half I need to put in the fridge. I think I left it on the table outside.
Poor guy.
Now that I mention it, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna go save it from a fate of going to waste.
Future Eric's gonna thank you.
Yeah, like you can't eat that later. So why?
I don't think that I talk about other people either when I talk to people. I think I talk about myself.
Well, as I don't know. I wasn't taking that any direction. I was just curious.
No, I'm that's my response.
Do you think it's interesting to hear about other people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. I'm interested in hearing about other people
Donnie and
talking about
Susie
themselves.
they had a fight.
What?
It's just the hypothetical people. If someone's telling you that about 2 people that you all know that got in a fight and they broke up and he, whatever. Is that interesting?
Not necessarily. It
I guess it
depends on who they are to me.
Yeah.
I'd much rather hear the story from the people involved. Like, I want to hear about you. I don't want to hear about other people. Like, when you say, do I want to hear about other people?
Most people I think that most people would agree with that statement, that they want to hear the story from the actual people involved, but no one will just ask it.
It depends on who they are. Like, my relationship to them.
There's degrees to everything, but generally, would you say that you're inclined to ask someone something that may or may not be personal and hope they go with it, or, wait for them to bring it up on their own? No, because I just practically asked.
I think I usually wait for them to bring it up, but I'm not sure about that. I don't know.
I think I'm sure now.
laughing at the two of you eating food.
What? So, if somebody has something personal they want to talk about, do you want to hear it?
If
What?
they want to talk about it,
If they want to talk about it.
yeah. I'm not going to make someone talk about something that they don't want to talk about.
No, I'm
You
not
don't
saying.
want to really proceed there. You don't start from absolute zero.
I suppose I want to know, yeah.
There's nothing wrong
Like,
with it.
I know, but I'm really
wanna
trying to
know,
figure
too.
out if I actually want to know. I'm not like,
Sorry, you sound
not-
frustrated or something.
it's a bad thing. I'm saying it because I don't know what I do in this situation.
I want to know what this fuckface is hiding too. What is this person talking about? What's this secret a person got to share with you that is still up in the air? I want to know.
You can often learn a lot just by asking them the question because people don't expect to be asked them.
What's going on in your personal life right now that's upsetting you that you don't normally want to tell people? That's a good way to ask a question. Wait a second. Why do I want to tell you?
Anything
Yeah,
sneaky
it's
today?
funny though. People are usually just dying to tell somebody though.
Depends on the
That's
type.
true.
I think it depends on the type.
No, I
That's
have
so
people
true.
that I already tell that crap to, so.
But I mean, don't you think there are plenty of introverted types that don't want to talk about their shit?
I think they, I don't know, this is from my perspective, but I would suppose that they do want to talk about it, but at the same time, they don't want to actually, like, open their mouths and speak about it to someone else.
They just want to be.
Like, they have the urge to tell them, but they might not actually want to tell them. Like, they might want to get it out, but they don't want to say it.
Maybe they should do charades.
God's sakes, I don't think that's it.
Or that'll be the solution. There's the solution.
But you're off screen. You're just kind of shouting from the side of the
Yeah, I
computer.
know, because I'm not going to hover over your shoulder to be on the camera.
You have every other fucking
I
time.
don't like the camera. I would rather just be heard. What was this subject?
I don't know. Invading people's privacy.
So, I don't know. What counts as a personal problem somebody might want to talk to you about? Their recent divorce, their recent new
Sex,
girlfriend?
relationships, addictions.
Say again?
Sex, relationships, addictions, and financial problems.
Sex, relationships,
Yeah.
addictions, and
Money,
financial
it's
problems.
money, sex, addiction, or health, I guess.
Yeah, health too.
And religion will kick in sometimes, too. Wherever not host is.
Well, I mean, I enjoy all those topics to a certain extent, but I have
It's all the reasons people get divorced, too.
What's that?
Now,
People getting divorced? Yeah. Well,
everyone gets divorced for either over sex, money, or religion, or drugs.
I guess Candace would probably say that's what we got divorced over is drugs. I don't feel like we got divorced over any of those things.
I got divorced over money and drugs. Wait, well, I mean, they're hand in hand. Yeah. Just spending all my money on drugs.
That'll tend to get old. My problem was much less obvious than that. I mean, like the drug connection in my relationship was much less obvious than that. It was sort of about my post-alcohol state and being on Adderall a little bit and stuff like that. But those were all sort of ancillary issues. I can't.
That's a real change in.
Yeah, I was a drunk. Now I'm on Adderall. Hello.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a crossover time when I was both. But
that never worked for me.
well, it spiraled down. That's sort of what accelerated the end. Is I got on Adderall, I didn't stop being a drunk, and that lasted about 6 months, and then it was over. Because it
I
keeps
know
you
a lot of
awake.
people who love to take Adderall before going out drinking because they could drink more and longer.
Right, it keeps you awake. That means more bad
I was
mistakes.
interested in whatever that idiot's talking about. Start like wiping off the bar.
Yeah, it's not a good comparing. Anyway, but you know, that's a good breakdown. There's 4 things. It's an even better breakdown for the first thing, which was we were talking about, which was what people talk about that are personal issues. So Nandi, Jay Cee, do you guys have those conversations with people? Those topics? Have you had Have you had people come up and say to you, either Jay Cee or Nandi or Pepsi, do you want to? Can you listen to me tell you about my relationship problem, my addiction problem, my money problem, or my what's the other one?
It's always who fucked who, who's smoking or snorting what, or who lost all their money,
Or who's dying.
or who's dying. But that's
That's more.
typically, if it's gossip,
Oh.
if someone's dying is gossip, it's normally related to what they were smoking, or who.
As you get older, the subject of dying will probably be more of a thing, but you'll know more people in the obituaries as you get a lot older.
But
Around
it's
a lot of old
uninteresting.
people at work, so
It's-
make
it's-
obituaries.
Yeah, I know, but fucking, what's more boring than this?
I don't think that counts as gossip. I think if you're talking about somebody who's dying, you're talking about you're stopping. You're not gossiping for a second. You're just saying, well, let's talk about other people in a way that's not gossiping. And you just say, oh, you hear this guy's dying? And then you both sort of sit there for a second and experience the notion that, oh, and we're going to die too. I mean, he's the same age as us.
I know, and people trick themselves into thinking they're being respectful. Here's something that doesn't make any sense to me. Why, when someone dies, you can't talk bad about them. You all of a sudden they're a saint now. You know what I really liked about so-and-so, but while they're alive, to hear you can say all the shit you want about them, and no one will bat an eye at you.
Right.
So in that same vein, I don't know,
Well,
I don't feel a lot more someone's dying doesn't make me feel any more obligations to them than I had before.
Well, no, but I mean, you can experience narrative about their death in ways that don't include obligations. Like, I'm thinking about, for example, there's a guy named Josh who he's my age, and he ran the same general circles, but he was more fully successful at all the social stuff, like he had everybody's sort of like respect as like this great musician and he was always in the cool bands and all that kind of stuff, and he's got some sort of disease and he's dying, and so for me that is an interesting thing to talk about on the grounds that it makes you reflect on varying values of things.
Yeah, I suppose we're probably thinking about different degrees of involvement. There's always, I'm thinking of someone sitting around, everyone knows a grandma or an aunt or someone who reads the obituaries to see who died. They're not reacting to news about someone that was relevant to them. They're seeking out novelty, but then masking and concern or caring. I don't know. It's
Okay, well, yeah, I don't experience a lot of that. I know what you're talking about, but
yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
yeah, but I don't experience much of that. Yeah, because the thing is, I don't have a lot of old relatives in my family. I have a very small family at this point. I got my parents and me, my daughter, and I do have some other relatives on the East Coast, but I don't know. It's like I feel linked to my uncle and aunt on the East Coast, pretty tight with them, but they're the same age as my parents, and I don't feel tight with their kids at all. So I wonder what happens to my family when that older generation dies, and it's just me, Delilah, and their kids whom I don't even view as family. They're adopted kids.
I don't know.
I guess I just have to have a small family. I need to get myself a breeding woman.
You might have other kids out there you don't know about yet.
I doubt it. I'm not much of a player. Never been much of a player. It's possible, but it's not. It's fairly low likelihood. I think that I've got kids I don't know about.
You know what really helps the closure rate is lowering that FE.
You mean be a dick? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. I could probably do that. I don't know if I want to do that, but I probably could. Does it help? Is that really true? I mean, is there a certain way you got to do it?
I don't know. It just comes. I'm just
It
kind
comes
of
so naturally to you. You're just such a natural asshole. I mean, you can't help it. You can't help but just draw the ladies like
my
honey.
ass lip goes
The flies
forward.
honey. Hey, Jay Cee and Nandi, can you help me be the kind of asshole women like?
The reason is
Yes.
what I don't know. I don't understand it, but women really, and I've had this conversation with a lot of them.
Hold on, stop. This deserves its own video. Let's do it. I want to get Jay Cee, Nandi, and Taylor to help me. Pepsi, would you like to learn too? I have a feeling you don't know it either.
Yeah, about
I've been
Kate.
spacing out the whole time.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm going to try to get everyone here to teach me to be the kind of asshole that chicks like. And you could learn too if you want, because I bet you don't know either. So we'll come right back and make that video.
Let's start.